Todd and his wife Julie, stars of reality show Chrisley Knows Best, were found guilty in June 2022 on federal charges including tax evasion and bank fraud. According to prosecutors, the Chrisleys submitted false documents to banks and failed to pay federal income taxes for multiple years.
Right now, it's that weird process. The best way that I can describe it is like grieving the loss of parents who are still alive.
Let the cameras roll. Chrisley Knows Best is certainly not without drama, but its stars have been at the center of more controversies than a single reality show can handle. And now with a jail sentence ongoing, the family head Todd Chrisley is worried sick about his family's health. Fans met Todd, Julie Chrisley, and their kids, Chase, Savannah, and Grayson, when the series premiered on USA Network in March 2014. The businessman's children from his first marriage to Teresa Terry, Lindsay, and Kyle also appeared in the early seasons of the show. But now experiencing a new life behind bars, Todd is said to be worried about his family. So, what's the latest unfortunate event that has rocked the once adored reality TV stars? Let's find out. As you may already be aware, Todd Chrisley and Julie Chrisley have traded airtime for jail time as the reality TV stars reported to prison for their years-long sentences in the past week. The husband and wife, who are best known for USA Network's family reality series Chrisley Knows Best, were convicted of tax evasion and bank fraud in June 2022. Todd will serve 12 years, with 16 months on probation at the Sunshine State's Federal Prison Camp, Pensacola. However, his wife Julie will serve her 7-year sentence with 16 months on probation in a different state. And barely a week after being a guest of the state, reliable sources now claim that Todd is worried his family is falling apart, with a good number of them battling depression.
Last night, Gray had a breakdown, and he's trying to process seeing my parents and the situation that they're in.
For starters, Grayson Chrisley had a breakdown when his parents were sent to prison. The 16-year-old reality star, who is known for starring alongside his parents, is said to have been struggling to process things after his mother and father were sentenced to a combined 19 years in jail after being found guilty of 12 counts of tax evasion, bank, and wire fraud, according to his 25-year-old sister Savannah. Grayson is 16 years old, and there's so much growth going on with him right now, and it breaks my heart to know that my parents are missing out on that, she said on the Unlocked podcast. Savannah, who assumed custody of Grayson and their granddaughter Chloe after her parents went to prison, went on to add that she herself is trying to stand strong amid the drama of the situation and explained that even Chloe had an inevitable anger towards the circumstances. She said, "I'm trying to stand strong and not break and be strong for them so they feel comfortable enough to break down, and it's tough." Chloe, at 10 years old, is trying to process them being gone and missing her mom. "We were driving down the road the other day, and Chloe had so much anger towards the situation, and she just said, 'Why? They're not bad people. They don't belong there,'" she continued. At the beginning of January, Todd, who was sentenced to 12 years in prison, reported to the Minimum Security Federal Correctional Institution, Pensacola in Florida, while Julie went to Federal Medical Center Lexington in Lexington, Kentucky, to begin her 7-year sentence despite initial plans for her to be detained 2 hours away from her husband at FCI Mariana in Jackson County, Florida. While in prison, Todd will be allowed up to 5 visitors at a time during evening visiting hours on Fridays and during the day on weekends. Todd and Julie were found guilty on federal charges of bank fraud and tax evasion and submitting false documents to banks to take out loans, reportedly more than $30 million worth, to finance their luxurious lifestyle. Earlier this month, Todd, 53, and Julie, 49, spent one of their final days having lunch with their daughters Savannah and Chloe, son Chase, and his fiancée Emmy Metters, and Todd's mother, Faye. Meanwhile, Lindsay Chrisley reached out to Georgia's Department of Revenue, filed a report against her father with Cherokee County Sheriff's Department, and gave a lengthy interview to the FBI in which she revealed allegations of harassment, physical violence, and blackmail. The news of his children's mental state got to Todd, and it is said he is finding it hard surviving in jail, especially with his family falling apart. Savannah, being the eldest, is trying to manage the situation, but it's really tough on her as well. The Sassy Beauty founder explained to her younger sister that she was trying everything that she could possibly do to get their parents home, and they should continue praying. But little Chloe was still frustrated as they were not home yet. She looked at me with tears just rolling down her face and said, "Guess what? I pray all the time. I pray for mom and dad to get home. I pray all day, and guess what? Sassy, nothing happens. It doesn't work." And when a 10-year-old says that to you, how do you respond? Chrisley said, adding that she also occasionally feels the same way. Chrisley ended the segment by tearfully sharing her gratitude for her mother for raising her to find the strength to get through raising her 2 siblings. In a previous episode of her podcast, Savannah opened up about how she's processing the fallout of her parents' legal woes during a chat with brother Chase Chrisley's fiancée Emmy Metters. "Dad's always been my go-to. That's always been my steady. If I'm having a bad day, he knows. He's just like, 'What's wrong?' I know you're struggling today, said the Chrisley Knows Best star. We just have that relationship and we talk about every single thing. That's where I can go to and just completely fall apart and him help me bring myself back up. She continued, with both mom and dad, I've said it's like grieving the loss of parents that are still alive, which is the hardest thing in the world. I feel like I've distanced myself to prepare for what's coming. Savannah also admitted she finds it challenging to continue living everyday life amid her parents' tribulations. The amount of people who will come at me for posting sassy stuff. It's like, guys, I have a business I have to run, she said. On her part, Emmy pointed out that Savannah can't stop her life just because of her parents' own situation. To which the reality television veteran agreed. I think that's what I'm struggling with right now is business-wise. I keep pushing forward because that's always been my easy go-to where I don't have to focus on anything else, she continued. So business-wise, I'm going to push forward. I'm going to do my podcast, my beauty brand Sassy. I'm going to do all the things. But personally, I feel like there's a level of guilt associated with moving on with my life and thinking of mom and dad not being here during certain life events. She continued, in my mind, I can't move on with my life. Until I know that they're going to be there, I can't get married. I can't have a kid. But I know they're going to eventually one day get to be a part of it. Savannah then recalled some sage words her father had recently bestowed upon her. Dad was like, I may not be here in front of you, but I'm still alive. I'm still fighting. You don't have to live a day without speaking to me, she said, adding that she's currently angry and I'm sad and upset. Savannah's sister Lindsay Chrisley recently told our sources that her family had grown closer through this experience. I think inevitably whenever you go through something hard, no matter what that may be, we've gone through divorce, the legal stuff, all of these things. I think that you gravitate towards what you know, shared the Southern Tea podcast host. 33. You band together and stand together when times do get tough. That is family, she continued. I do think in some ways it, for sure, has brought us closer together. But I would have wished that it would have been for other reasons and not this. But despite the family standing together during these challenging times, that hasn't always been the case. That may be why Todd is worried his imprisonment will shatter his family all over again. In the past, the former real estate tycoon's relationships with his older kids broke down as the family became more high profile. The feud soon became public knowledge and often played out for the world to see. When Todd revealed in April 2020 that he was hospitalized after testing positive for COVID-19, a social media user sent Lindsay a DM, which she shared via her Instagram story. Hi Lindsay. The note reads, did you see your dad has COVID? I guess the good guys really do win in the end. The Coffee Convos podcast co-host fired back at the negative sentiment. The audacity of some people blows my mind, she retorted. This is disgusting. My inbox is flooding with similar messages and I'm not here for it. Get right or get off my page. And although Lindsay wished her father well when he was sick, their relationship was not mended. On the other hand, Kyle revealed in August 2019 that he and Todd had reconciled after years of tension. My mom Julie and dad raised me, Kyle wrote via Instagram. I haven't been the best dad to my daughter Chloe. I've had a problem with drugs. I've acted completely ridiculously, and through all that, they have stood by my side. 9 months ago, I went to my dad with an apology. His words were, I love you always, and you are forgiven, and just like that, I was welcomed back into his life with open arms. I will be forever grateful for his love and graciousness. But just when the family started to stick together, the prison tragedy came, so we understand why Todd is all worked up in prison. And that's it from us today. Until next time, bye.